Welcome to the Crypto Wonder Show.
Don't be so quick to rob the bank.
Banks are robbing us already.
Annualized returns.
Yeah, paltry, meager.
Annualized returns.
I'll be honest, I saw a skunk have a heart attack and he expired. What's the urgency? Take your money out the bank cause they're insolvent. You're getting robbed, so clap back cause you're a target. Tarjay billboard on the marquee. Sanjay Pootie Tang Sarate. You like your chicken fricassito, maybe sauteed. The banksters want you to be a slave to them always. It's no wonder some really believe that crime pays. I learned that from going to school at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Must this be a discussion of the Black Swan event? Annul it. The wool's over your third eye like a mullet. Triumphant, Wu-Tang Tarjay Street style, I'm on it. Blessed from the sunrise to the dawning. Every morning my glass is always half full when I'm yawning. You are now rocking with the Crypto Wonder. Sit back, rewind.
Annualized returns.
Analyze returns.
Annualized returns.
Wickedness. Yo, they talking peppers while I speak a nep. I check it on my family, making sure they don't fall victim to the hands of a stepper. Weapon, never say never when you stacking paper. My mind is my murder weapon in a stool session.
Everybody, you're rocking with the Crypto Wonder from the Crypto Wonder Show. Network, podcast, TV, entertainment, YouTube, game crazy, social media, stand up, whatever that all means. Anyway, so, I went on a stream yesterday. Well, I didn't go on a stream. I did a stream yesterday talking about the whole banking fiasco that took place. Jerome's in the house, When I mean Jerome's in the house, I'm talking about your man, Jerome Powell. I'm not blaming him per se, 100% for the bank run, but I'm also blaming him in a sense for this bank run and the people who he represents and his handlers in a sense, even though he's a handler too, because when he talks, everybody listens, and I mean everyone. When you talk about world leaders, if you believe that, prime ministers and presidents and dictators or whoever have you are just figureheads for a cabal, then you understand what I'm talking about when I tell you when he talks, everybody listens, because he's the head of the Federal Reserve over here in the United States. And that says a lot, because when you talk about interest rates and basis points and blah, blah, that affects our cost of living, that affects our quality of living. Everything that took place with the Silicon Valley Bank, with the whole liquidity crisis, it's crazy, because from what I'm understanding, this gentleman named Peter Thiel just put an announcement in so many words to tell his people, or not even his people, to tell people in general who had any funds deposited in Silicon Valley to basically withdraw. And what do you think the people did? They listened, they ran, and there were lines like cheese welfare lines from back in the days. Cheese lines, long lines. People thinking that they're going to try to take out their monies, and they can't, because the banks don't have everyone's money available at the same time. I mean, a lot of us been talking about this for years. This is what bank runs do. This is what, not even bank runs do, this is what part of what banking is all about. When you're dealing with fractional reserve, when you're dealing with the fact that banks take your money and they lend them out, they don't have all the cash at any one given time. So what happens? It's a crisis. But guess what? If you're in crypto and you're doing the right thing in the right cryptos, you're winning, because you weren't affected by it. But a lot of us, and when I say us, I'm talking about human beings, we take certain chances and make certain decisions and don't get involved with certain things, and then we fall victim. to things like these bank runs. It's a small bank. From what I'm understanding, the Silicon Valley thing is a bank that's really designed for startup companies. It's a small bank, right? So they help out startups, Silicon Valley. So you figure, California, where it's been ripe for 20 years, the tech, STEM, science, technology, engineering, et cetera, mathematics. People try to create the next Amazon or the next Uber or the next Airbnb, and then they come to find out their dreams have just been crushed overnight. This thing took place Friday, the whole drop. And then even during the day when, I saw a couple announcements that were made about how bank stocks were just, all in the red, suffering price loss, all in the red. I knew there were going to be ramifications for that. But at the same time, for me personally, since you can see the handwriting on the wall if you've been studying this thing for a while, when it happens, there's really no need to panic, because what's panicking going to do for you? If you, sad to say, if you're a person, a customer or a client of Silicon, I keep saying Sun, but Silicon Valley Bank, you're praying that you can get at least 3/4 of your money out. Right now they're saying it's definitely not possible for anyone, regular person. Maybe some people got their monies out, the first ones or whoever inside, who have the inside link or the inside scoop, inside connection to get their funds out. Who knows? I'm just speculating, but most people are struggling now because they're scared. It's the weekend and they just don't know what Monday's going to bring, but they just know it's kind of dire right now. And it's sad, and then to hear things like, some people say that, well, the bigger banks, the larger world banks and banks such as, JP Morgan and Wells Fargo and, those banks of the like, Citibank, whatever, Bank of America, those are solvent banks. And, they're next. It could happen to them too. Everything is a risk. And you're now seeing the truth about certain things, about why even crypto even exists. You're seeing the truth unfold between your eyes. Some people are comparing what happened yesterday to 2008, the subprime lending fiasco that brought the markets to its knees, where, banks had to be bailed out by the federal government. They're connecting what happened yesterday to those events back in 2008 that spawned the advent of what? The peer-to-peer Satoshi Nakamoto white paper introducing Bitcoin as electronic cash to the world. And it's funny, amidst all this that's going on, the stable coin that so many people had so much faith in, USDC, Circle, USDC, was unpegged. It's now unpegged because there's not enough fiat dollar to support its value. That's crazy in and of itself. The ramifications run deep, very, very deep, and it's worrisome. That's why in some cases you got to get into something that'll provide you some type of fortified relief, something strong, yo. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not a joke. It's a serious stuff. It's real stuff going on right here. They call this somewhat of a black swan event because it's one of these occurrences that occur to have deep ramifications, widespread, that affect a large market demographic, right? And that no one could have predicted this occurring the way it did. The ramifications of this, it remains to be seen. We're going to sit back and watch because that's all we can do. Most of us we're living through history. We're living through history. And, you know, as a person, regular person, I feel bad for the people who have monies tied up in Silicon Valley. There was another bank that they said went insolvent too this week. And so they're saying that there's going to be an emergency meeting with the Federal Reserve Bank and on Monday. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what the turnout will be? I just know, for example, that it's a little, it's a little disingenuous when you find certain social media or even media personalities like Jim Cramer saying wild things about, like, how they like Silicon Valley. He was just praising Silicon Valley and talking about, I think allegedly talking about how he was, either going to invest in Silicon Valley, or he's speaking in a way where Jim Cramer from Mad Money, he was speaking in a way where he supported Silicon Valley. This is like this week, days before, Silicon right now is suffering a major problem, catastrophic. Could you imagine you running a business, a startup? You have staff to take care of, right? And you can't meet payroll because of whatever. Some people don't have it like we would want them to have it. They just don't. And it's crazy because who do you call? Ghostbusters? Who do you call for help? Right? Who do you call for relief? Who do you call for assistance? What? These 3-letter agencies that have been, pretty much harassing people in crypto space, talking about, investigation here, this and that and this. How are they going to help alleviate the pains of the people with this banking situation? I don't think they are, because that's not their job. In my opinion, that's not what they do. It's not. They've been around for almost 100 years or whatever. I'm just guessing right now, right? I'm just talking mess. Do your research if you really want to know the history of these financial institutions and conglomerates that have just been, designing ways and plans to keep their stranglehold on our necks, keep their proverbial feet on our necks, to keep us in a position of dependence rather than independence. And it's quite sad. It's harrowing. It's even frightening, I feel bad for a young person, millennial generation or Generation Z, and, who, are wide-eyed, bushy-tailed, and they have so many ideas, innovative, and they're trying to, do what they think is needed for the world to help better things and better humanity. And if they caught in some kind of Silicon Valley fiasco, man, wow. What a way to end your week. What a way to end your week, right? I don't know, people. I don't know. But this is why crypto exists. To eliminate intermediaries, to eliminate the middleman, to eliminate third parties, to eliminate dealings with these individuals and these entities. Dealing with these corporations, they don't help us. They're not here to enrich our lives. We're being used as cattle to enrich them. That's all it's about. These entities don't exist to really protect us. They talk about how they regulate and want to introduce rules and policy and all these things. That's just so that they can contain and keep and preserve their power. And continue to control everything else. You have a minority that wants to control the majority of resources, the majority of everything that we can even think of. Our health, our food, our homes, our monetary energy and capabilities, right? They want to control the narrative in bolden capital letters, blazed up in flames. That's what they're here to do. And the part about it too that makes it even more interesting is the fact that, like I always say, when you're dealing with human beings, you're going to deal with people who are imperfect, and you're going to deal with flaws, and people are going to make mistakes. And even they When I'm talking about these entities that want to control us, they make mistakes. And that's where we have to be ready to see, identify it, and take advantage. Just like they take advantage of loopholes, they take advantage of any little window of opportunity that could benefit them. Well, now it's time for us to do that. It's another time for those who see, who are aware, and who are willing, who are not afraid to take advantage of these windows of opportunity. And that could mean whatever. It's subjective. I'm not going to give you advice on what you should do. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do. But I'm going to tell you that they make mistakes too. They make mistakes. They definitely do. And those who see it take advantage for their own betterment. Truth be told, for an example of what I'm talking about, some people are even speculating on social media, should they acquire USDC while it's down. Last I saw, it was down to 92 cents. It was depegged by 7 cents. So they were thinking about maybe they should acquire it, like taking the super risk strategies. But that just goes to show you, like, even regular crypto people, this is what is on the table. So imagine those who are more well-informed, well-equipped, who have, the knowledge, the resources, widespread. Imagine what they're doing, what they're going to do to strengthen their foothold by this weakness, this vulnerability that was exposed, that they can't hide. And they, meaning the world leaders, the world powers that be. It affected a small bank, quote unquote, a regional, local bank kind of thing. I don't know, right? Because Silicon Valley, like I said, it was there to help enrich entrepreneurs, not enrich, but help entrepreneurs build out their ideas and dreams and business plans and models. We're going to see if there's going to be a domino effect. Who knows? But listen, like I said, we're one day closer to the next all-time high for Hex, one day closer to Pulse Chain Mainnet Lizanch. I'm saying Pulse X behind that, or in accordance with Pulse Chain, Hey, it is what it is, man. I've seen already the hashtag Hex users unaffected. I've seen it, but a lot of us don't live 100% crypto. A lot of us don't. We have to deal with legacy. We have to deal with these banking structures, right? We have to deal with the craziness that has propelled us and prompted us to go to the crypto route. So just be smart, be safe, be smart. Like, again, what are you going to do? If one day we realize, look, there's a bank run and all the major banks get hit. I don't wish that, but imagine Citibank, JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo gets hit. Bank run. We're going to have a lot to worry about at that point. And I hope that day doesn't come. But if it does come, trust and believe, it's going to be real dark. And we're going to have a lot more things to worry about than our crypto bags. Right? That's crazy, man. To me, having a bank run where you can't get your money out widespread. Imagine, I know it's a fantasy. It's something that may or may not happen, but can it really not happen? If it happened already on a small scale, and it's happened already throughout the world, there have been major bank runs that's happened throughout the world in other countries. I remember Greece went through something nasty years ago. I remember Lebanon went through something real nasty. Who else is void of that? No, it could affect any first world country, superpower, leader, whatever you want to call it. So embrace the mortality of things, if you will, Well, listen, I'm going to kindly end this right here, and I'm going to talk to you all on the next one. Take care.